again. I know it has been quite a while since we've played. Thank you for being patient with us. We've had to fight off the most heinous and deadly enemy in the D&D universe, scheduling problems. So we are back, although we will be going on a short break again after this week for reasons that will become apparent during the stream. My head feels lighter. That happened. I've been like putting off a haircut for the past 3 months, but it's been summer and I haven't had to do anything. So I've just been like, I could get off the couch and go get a haircut, or I could just stay here and play more Fire Emblem. We're going to do that. So jumping into announcements, Justin.
Yeah, announcements. We don't really want. I don't really want to do announcements for shows anymore, just because everybody knows the schedule by now. You know, Beneath the Tide 10:30 Wednesdays, Dungeons of the Bad Mage 7 on Wednesdays, and Curse of Strahd possibly ending.
No, don't say that.
Because they pissed off some night hags and they're only 3rd level.
We're gonna be fine.
A coven of night hags. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But they're good. They're in a carriage, so they're probably gonna get away from some hags. And Chris Stroud's too fun just to do a TPK this early. Also, yeah, check out Demystifying DMing on YouTube. It's a DM tip show done by Mr. Sam himself. We release those every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you like DMs and you like the tips they give, then check it out. Sam gives some really good ones. Come for the thumbnails, stay for the tips, or vice versa.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited what you do with the thumbnail for this week's episode.
I am too.
I gave you some fun. I gave you some stuff to work with.
I have one in 5 minutes.
I mean, I just want everyone to be aware of the turnaround. Like, I send Justin the file and be like, here you go, here's the video. And then like within 5-10 minutes, he's like, here's the thumbnail. I'm like, you haven't even, that's shorter than the length of the video.
So yeah.
One of these days it'll be less than 20 minutes again, but this week will not be that week.
Cool.
Because this week we're talking about combat.
Oh shit.
And then next week we're also talking about combat. So this week is preparing combat and things you can do there, and balancing, kind of looking at it from 2 perspectives, the fun and the mechanics, and kind of using the mechanics to have fun. And then next week will be on things you can do in running combat. And both of these are about making combat just more fun and engaging, not necessarily balancing encounters, because there's no such thing as a perfectly balanced encounter. No. And there's a section in the Dungeon Master's Guide to help you try. So I'm here to help you have fun, not read the Dungeon Master Guide to you.
Fantastic.
I mean, I could, but...
You could. As an audiobook.
That'll be our next YouTube series, just me reading the Dungeon Master's Guide start to finish. We'll break it up into chunks.
Oof. Man. Anyways, check that out. Just tips. Come in just for the tips.
Remember, I'm sitting in the DM's chair today.
You are. Also on Sundays, hopefully in the future after Halloween, we're going to be adding a Call of Cthulhu game to the channel on Sundays after I learn the system a little bit. And then we'll be testing out said system for Halloween. It's a Halloween one-shot on Wednesday, October 30th at 10:30 p.m. where Sam will be playing himself, a math teacher stuck in a really horrific environment. It's going to be a lot of fun, everybody. So come check that out. And then obviously on Halloween, we're going to be playing Curse of Strahd. And if everyone turns up in costume, they get DM inspiration. If not, well, that's not my problem. And we have a podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Just search up Monstrosities, and you can listen to the first 4 episodes of our pirate campaign, Beneath the Tide. Because this week we're going into episode 25.
Ooh. Quarter of 100.
Quarter of 100. Halfway to 50.
Yeah.
So, yeah, come watch us fight a Medusa and Beneath the Tide and see if anyone dies.
I think you say us like you're actually fighting the Medusa and not making us fight the Medusa.
True.
You don't have to fight anything.
And it's a modified. It's a modified Medusa too.
Great.
Well, technically, I am fighting things. I'm fighting Ash, Noose,
Mm-hmm.
Ogden. Anyways,
Right.
that's it for announcements.
Okay. So it's been a while, and unless you have just happened to be catching up on the yes, thank you. Unless you just happening to have been catching up on the VODs this morning or within this last week, there's a good chance you're having a hard time remembering what's happening. So brief recap. I'll start from the beginning and go very brief, and then get less brief as we get more recent. So the party is a group of half siblings who all are part of a program that the Githyanki are putting together to try and diversify their gene pool because they have a limited population and they foresee that causing problems in the future. So they're like, hey, what if we started making babies with people who aren't just Gith? And the party is sort of a test run to see how that goes and justify that and make sure that it doesn't do something horrible. Hannibal is not necessarily helping with that regard. So they got to pick their first city where they would be dropped off, and they picked the largest city in the world, the city of Pyre, on the west coast of the eastern continent. And they've had some fun shenanigans there. They took them like an hour to find an inn, because none of them have ever been to a city before, or really a town, kind of civilization. We grew up in an enclave, grew up in the woods, and grew up in the mountains. So that was fun. And then they went on to manage to find a sort of broker of adventuring jobs named Lucas Gislaine, who keeps a fairly neat and nice office in an old abandoned sewer cistern off the river. And he helped them find it. He seemed disappointed when they said that they only wanted to do things that were legal, but he had work for them regardless. They helped him by clearing out a phase spider from a wizard apprentice's house. And then most recently, when they returned to him, they were given a job to basically be white hat bank robbers, and break into a local bank so that the owners of the bank would be more aware of any sort of any gaps in their security, so that they can shore those up, make it better, make it harder to rob them. So they went and they did that. They did this for Jeskaran Valthazar. Wait, no, sorry, that's something else. That is the wrong name. Sorry. I was reading the wrong part. Ignore that. Anyway, they went and they successfully managed to rob the bank and absolutely traumatize one of the bankers who was just trying to go out and get some water. But they managed to break in, get to the vault, and steal a whole lot of money. I think it was in the realm of 100,000 gold pieces, based on what they could fit into their bag of holding when we did the math. So they went back, they returned the money to Lucas and to Mr. Slane, and he said, job well done. I will contact the client and let him know that you successfully did this. In the meantime, if you want to go and rest and relax and basically have a spa day, it's on me, to which you all eventually decided to go and do. It was a little staggered. Hannibal went first, and then the other two of you were okay with it and followed after, and ended up going and enjoying yourselves in this bathhouse where you were given basically just a lavish spa experience and, baths and potential massages and scented oils and soaps and all kinds of nice spa day type stuff, so that you can just rest and relax and enjoy yourself. So we are going to pick up it's kind of the end of your spa day. You've had some time to relax. It's been a little while. Lucas was he was sending a message to the client. You figure he was probably going to want to come quickly, but also probably needed to do some cleanup on his end to make sure that everyone was aware of why there was so much money missing in the vault, and maybe, put out a couple fires, metaphorically speaking. You didn't light any literal ones. Put out a couple fires, metaphorically speaking, at his side of things, for his employees and stuff, and potentially have to give some additional payment to a traumatized worker that was found tied up in the sewers. So that is where we will start at the end of your spa day. And basically, you've spent enough time there that just through your rest and relaxation, I will say that counted as a long rest. So you are all very, very well rested and relaxed. And it's coming up on basically afternoon at this point. You came in like early in the morning, so you've had like a full-on spa day, where it seems like whatever you wanted was pretty much paid for. Lucas very much seemed to appreciate this, and you kind of just had a blank check to engage in their services. So you all kind of finished up at the end, very well rested and relaxed and refreshed. And that's where we are starting.
All right. I guess Hannibal will put his clothes back on, because he was walking around incredibly nude. Yeah, nobody wants to see that. Give Moloch a couple pats on his heads.
Oh yeah, Hannibal has a pet death dog puppy named Moloch.
And I will try to find my siblings.
Okay. You've probably all, over the course of the past several hours, seen each other and bumped into each other and been made aware that you're all in this place, just because, when you go, like, when you're moving from place to place and, engaging in these various services, you just happen to, catch sight of each other.
All right, I'll scream out loud then. Aja, Drusilla, hello.
So as the two of you are getting dressed, oh yeah, they also they did have a laundry service. So all of you are probably putting on your nice and very neat, clean, pressed, and nice smelling clothes, since you all were rolling around in a sewer, literally slept in a sewer. I'm pretty sure Hannibal laid down his coat in the muck and slept on top of it.
Plus my poop grease spell.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You kind of cleaned up after that, but not entirely. So yeah, you all smell better than you have in the past 24 hours.
Wunderbar.
Beautiful.
Great.
Yes, with Hannibal screaming her name, Drusilla's gonna follow the voice and find Hannibal.
Ah, sad you are.
Well, now what?
We've cleaned our bits. That's wonderful. My clothes are clean. That's wonderful. Moloch is happy. Aren't you, Moloch? Are you happy? Exactly.
But times two.
Exactly. Okay. So what do? Do we go find Veggie and kill him because he abandoned us?
It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
We should kill everyone who abandons us.
He didn't abandon us. No. And Aja's just gonna walk.
Okay.
Walk out.
As you go to exit, there's a person sitting there, there's a person sitting in like the lobby area, legs crossed, reading some kind of papers. And as you all come out, there's a moment of like squinting at all of you before he sees Hannibal, and then is like, okay, yeah, and then folds up the papers in his pocket and stands up, picks up a bowler hat and stuffs it onto his head and just goes, Mr. Ghislaine sent me. He said that I'm supposed to bring you somewhere? Some guy named Thanzel Onyx Forge is looking for you at his bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
Yeah,
your
so-
hat.
Thanks. Yours ain't so bad yourself.
Thank you.
Right. So that's about it. That all makes sense to you. You know what you need to do and everything, or do I need to do anything else here?
No.
I think we're good. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. And he just turns and walks out.
I liked his hat. I should steal it and take it. Add
No,
it where-
Hannibal, no stealing.
You
But
could start acting like a civilized person.
but I'm not a person.
I need to separate you two.
Let's go. Let's just go.
Yes, we need payment. Or whatever they're gonna give us for doing this task.
Let's
Payment
go.
was negotiated, yeah.
Maybe they'll give us a house. And I will follow that guy.
Okay. Well, he just like left. He was just like, you know where you're going, right? And you said yes, so he's just like, oh, cool. He just went home.
Oh well, then I'll go to the door and wait for the others and see if we can find our way back.
Yeah. Drusilla, if I remember correctly, last time was the one who found her way to the bank,
Find
Yep.
the bar.
and so yeah, you remember the way. You guys have had a chance to go back and forth a couple times. So if anyone remember, like Drusilla definitely remembers. The other two of you, depending on how much you were paying attention. Hannibal probably less so. Aja probably has a pretty good idea and could find her way there. But I remember also Drusilla found a like very quick shortcut route as well. So,
Yeah, Hannibal doesn't have a lot of perception or wisdom, so
or probably wasn't paying much attention to the route.
I got 8 wisdom.
Seems right.
Let's go!
Masha, are you good?
I'm good. Let's go.
Okay. All right, let's go.
All right. So you managed to lead them back through the city from the riverfront district. You were in sort of that open plaza type area around the entrance to the infinite dungeon known as the Bone Grinder. And so you go turn and exit out of that and follow a couple of streets. It's not exactly the same path, but you're able to manage to find your way again to the bank, which sits very large and tall, this big stone building with some dwarvish carved into the doorway, or over the doorway, kind of set up on a heavy stone foundation in the middle of this older part of the city. And you can see it looks like for the moment the doors are closed, and there's some people like kind of milling around impatiently outside.
What's going on?
You just go up and ask a person?
Yeah.
All right. Bank's closed. So something about needing to clean something up, do inventory, do something. I don't know. They gave us a bunch of different answers. I don't like it. I'm suspicious.
I know what happened.
Oh, well, what happened?
A rift opened to another dimension, and creatures came in and killed a lot of bank workers.
Are we safe here?
No, we're not.
Make a deception check.
10.
All right. He there was a moment of alarm on his face when you first said that, but then the more you started talking, he eventually his eyes narrowed and he's like, troublemaker, jokester, just grumbles and just walks away from you.
I need to roll Hannibal's dice. Let me grab Hannibal's dice.
Are there any bank workers around?
Outside, no, you don't see any. It looks like they are all, and you can see some movement through the windows of the bank, and it looks like there's a fair number of people inside.
I'm just going to pound on the door.
Okay, so you go up the steps and knock on the door. They turn and see you, and you can see mouths moving as they talk to each other, and then a few seconds later, you see the recognizable face of Thanzalonix Forge, who is very recognizable immediately because you remember that Hannibal looked like him last night. Because that's how you guys managed to rob the bank. And he comes up and opens the door and sees all of you and says, perfect. Come on in. Hurry. We've got I would love to hear what happened.
Of course. I'm going to say so loud. Of course we'll help you kill the creatures that came through the rifts.
What are you talking about? Get inside. Stop. What, are you trying to scare my customers?
And Hannibal will walk inside.
Okay.
And take one last look around and make sure those guards that almost accosted him a couple days ago don't see him.
Okay. Well, they were like way over by the
cool.
gates of the city. You are actually a couple miles of city away from that post.
Good.
So he quickly ushers you inside and then shuts the doors behind you again. You can see the bank workers like rushing around. It looks like all hands on deck right now, basically trying to make sure that all of the money you took ends up back where it's supposed to be and cataloging that and making sure that all went well. Part of the job and everything, but they need to clean up after it.
He took a lot of money, you guys.
Really did. And just kind of randomly too. There was no rhyme or reason, if I remember right.
He really did.
So Thanzel comes in and he walks up behind you and says, all right, so I would like to hear everything. If you could just, if you can walk me through it, and I mean literally, if there's things you did in places, I'd love to go to that place so we can take a look at it and I can just get as many details as possible because I want to know exactly what happened. And he snaps his fingers and one of the workers comes over with a ledger or like basically a clipboard with a stack of paper and like an ink pot and quill ready to take notes.
Well, we broke into the sewers.
Through the sewers. All right.
No, back up. You've missed a part, Hannibal. Before that, we came and scouted out the inside. We practiced making deposits.
All right. Practice making deposits. All right.
We watched what happened with the money, and we had Drew here hide in one of the money bags.
All right. Perhaps you could be a little more specific there because, well, you're not exactly the tallest, ma'am. Unless that was a very large bag, which I don't remember being deposited. How would you have hidden inside?
I was a spider.
You were a spider.
Yes. I can turn into a spider, so I put myself inside the bag.
Magic, right? Okay, magically turned into a spider. Write that down. And the scribe is just scratching away at the parchment, writing all of these things down. Like, okay, so you turned into a spider and hid inside the bag, and then that got you into the vault?
Yes.
All right.
And then I just looked around.
All right, okay. Wait, and then what? And actually, as he says this, he starts walking like towards the back, down into the lower area, towards the vault.
Are we supposed to follow him?
We'll follow.
Okay, yeah. He's walking like he's still talking to you as he's walking. So it seems like he's trying to move this down to where the action happened. I was like, all right, as you're going down the stairs, all right, so then what happened? So you scouted out everything, you looked at the basement. Where did you go from there?
After I looked through the basement, I went back upstairs and out.
All right. So you left, and then...
So that's where I come in?
Yes.
I made one of your employees show me where I could take a poo, and I scouted out the chamber pot situation, and I saw a grate outside where all the muck goes, and I made a deduction that we were going to break in through the sewer grate.
All right. But so we don't have as far as I'm aware, we don't have a connection to the sewers. And as he says that, the scribe says, Actually, sir, if you remember correctly, one of our guards found an employee. There was a tunnel, and then he says, right. Please, could one of you lead the way and just show me where you broke in exactly?
Okay. Where do you want to go? Do you want to see the poop grate, or do you want to see the wall we crumbled?
I'd rather not go climbing through the sewer. So if you could if you could go backwards from in here to kind of reverse, trace your steps back to where it connects to the sewer.
Wunderbar, let's go. And I immediately take off towards that direction.
Okay, so you go winding through the hallways in the basement until you come to that door. As you go through it, you come to the pools of water where seems like the bank gets its fresh drinking water, which you swam in and washed yourself in after you got out of the sewer, contaminating their drinking water.
That said, I was covered in sewer muck and poop, and I kind of washed myself in that water right there.
You can see both of them, their faces just pale for a second, since they have definitely had water to drink from those pools in the past day. And they both you can see them just...
One of your employees was going to find us, so I had to hide into water.
Right? No, that makes sense.
I hope nobody's drank it. You might need to change the water supply.
Right. Make a note. Make a note. We need someone to come in and clean the water. All right. Please lead on, and please help me stop thinking about this.
This is gonna be a tight fit ahead, so very tight fit.
All right. So then you lead him.
Yeah, to where the wall was crumbled, but I cast mending on it, so I don't know if it's still crumbled.
Okay. Yes, because you. I'm pretty sure when you broke in the second time, you didn't bother to repair it behind you.
Oh, that's right, because we had Goldgrim tied up or whatever on the other side.
Yeah. So,
yeah, so lead them to where the wall was collapsed.
Yeah, so you go around and you come to, you can see the place where the wall was the sewer wall backs up into this natural cavern and was just old and crumbled from the moisture and everything. And there's now a sizable hole. It's been bashed through from you guys coming in. And Thanza, as soon as you get close, he pulls out a handkerchief and covers his face oh my, we need to fix that at least for the smell. Oh, that's not going to be good for business. All right. So we'll need a construction crew in there to fix that. All right. So then from there, you came in back this way. You hid in the pool, and then
we attacked the employee.
All right.
Knocked him unconscious with my hammer, I believe.
All right.
And then he woke up, unfortunately. So
right.
We put him on the other side of this hole, and we slept with him side by side to make sure he didn't get away. And then we left him there.
All right. And I believe that's the one that one of our guards found last night. Said something about seeing me last night. Could you elaborate on that part?
Yes. You see, I have this magical ability to turn into people. I could take on the form of us humanoids. So I took on your appearance, and it aided us in getting a set of keys from a guard. And we just opened the vaults that way, took what we needed, and we left.
We should also mention that person, I think we frightened him quite badly. He should have some recompense and some help, I suspect.
Oh yeah, sorry. We'll make sure he gets pay for any injury, additional for his service, and also I think some paid vacation time would do him good.
His name was Galgrim.
Write that down. The scribe is scrolling away. All right, so if we go back this way, please, away from the smell, back towards the vault. And he walks you guys over back towards the vault. He says, all right, so here's where you took the night guard. You showed up to the night guard looking like me,
yes,
and then convinced him to unlock the vault with his key.
Yes.
All right, and then you just loaded up all the money and walked out the door with it.
Essentially.
Yep.
All right, so I have some ideas here for how to improve our situation. But do you have any recommendations for how we could improve things or prevent some of the things that you did in order to break in?
Arcane traps that disintegrate people who try to break in.
How would they know who's trying to break in and who's just trying to open for the morning?
That's the fun.
All right.
I think it would be good if you had some sort of password or way of identifying yourself for the senior bank people that only they would know. Hannibal was there able to just impersonate you.
All right.
And maybe the password could change every night.
It's a good idea. All right.
And maybe you could have like animated giant statues that roam the bank at night.
That's not a bad idea.
That shoot fire.
We'll consider that, yeah.
And cook people alive.
Yep. That's what fire will do, yes.
Drew, do you have any thoughts?
Perhaps before you take the bags to the vault, check them for pests.
Sounds like a good idea. I'm getting the impression that we need some kind of magic removal part of the process somewhere.
I was going to suggest maybe doing something in the bank, so you could like maybe make it so it's anti-magic in here.
Well, we probably want to, as we're planning on expanding, we're thinking of adding, some magical aspects into the banking process for things like communication and speeding things up. But perhaps even at least an anti-magical doorway or something, or location, some place where you can sort of remove enchantments and illusions and things like that, so that a person who's a spider would turn back into a person, and a person who looks like me would turn back into yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Got that down, right? Yep. Wrote it down. All right. Anything else off the top of your head?
I still think disintegrating would be fun.
All right. Well, write down disintegrating.
Trapdoors. So when someone goes to step through a door, there's no floor on the other side and they fall into a pit.
It might make it a little difficult for the new bank employees, but we'll consider it.
Or you could put buckets of water over the doors, so when they open the door, water splashes onto them.
What would that accomplish?
They'd be wet, and they'd be doing bad things.
All right.
I think he's heard enough.
Just write down traps.
All right, traps. So if you wouldn't mind, I want to make sure we go through all of this as detailed as possible, and if you wouldn't mind helping some of the other employees understand and walking us through this, just so we can be as clear as possible, that would be greatly appreciated. And then I will arrange for Mr. Ghislaine to give you your payment. And I believe the only charge is very little damages. I won't count that wall in the sewers as damages, because that was practically falling apart anyway. So we would have had to fix that. We didn't even know we needed to fix that, except if you hadn't knocked it down. So we won't count that. Perhaps just the minor medical and traumatized costs for Golgrim. But aside from that, your bonus for additional materials and things like that is completely taken care of. If you wouldn't mind providing any also, you basically earned that entire bonus to make up for any costs you incurred.
How much is the bonus?
Oh, I worked it out with Mr. Ghislaine. It was significant, I believe. How much did you spend, just to make sure that it'll cover it? I want to make sure that you don't have to spend out of pocket and, miss out on your reward.
If I may, just a third of that bonus, my share. Give it to the dwarf who had a bad time.
Well, if you insist, all right.
I do.
Right.
I do.
Okay. It's kind of go through all of this again. talk to bank employees and just kind of run them through it. It's a little repetitive, just because, you know, as things in a business usually tend to be, just wanting to make sure everything is clear, brainstorming ideas, and just kind of keeping you on hand to share your experience and your knowledge through all of this. So by the time you're done and he's ready to move forward and start rebuilding, repairing, and improving the security and opening again, it's pretty much after dark at this point. As you all step out into the cool night air, as the bank is closing up for the night and they're getting ready to then open again in the morning to start implementing the security features that you suggested and others that they thought of.
So, what shall we do?
Suppose we should go and rest. And meet the guy tomorrow and collect our pay. And see what sort of useless drivel we have to do next.
Yes, we could do that, yes. Yes.
Hannibal, where are you staying?
That is a secret. Because I have no idea yet.
Because, sorry, that wasn't part of the recap. Hannibal was banned from their inn for spraying poop-scented grease all over the tap room.
I was testing out a spell. All right, so meet back here in the morning.
Yeah, that'll do.
All right.
Are you all walking towards like the general district of your inn while you're having this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think just as a reminder, the inn you were staying at is in the district of Silvergate, which is the one like farthest east, basically like the marketplace district just inside the gates. This is more of like a central southern district, so it's a little bit ways away.
Oh no, I'll stay here.
Oh, you're gonna stay here?
So yeah, we meet because I don't want to go near the gates.
Ah, fair enough. Okay.
So we'll meet back here in front of the bank in the morning.
All right.
As you guys are walking away, Hannibal, actually, can everybody make me a perception check?
Oh, I'm good at these guys.
Drusilla and Aja, make them with disadvantage.
Oh.
At least when I play Hannibal, I'm consistent.
So what everybody get?
Natural 1.
Wow, okay.
7.
All right.
13.
Okay. So Hannibal, as you are kind of wandering a bit, you're not that far apart, maybe like a street down. It's very quiet tonight because it's getting late and people have gone to their homes. You're wandering down a street looking for a place to stay when all of a sudden you just kind of hear a of movement from behind you, and does a...
Oh great. Is this to me or who?
This is Hannibal, yeah, the one that is alone.
Fuck.
Does a 12 hit your AC?
My AC is 12.
Okay, so that does in fact hit.
Because artificers are basically tech wizards, so we swish.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So you are walking along, and all of a sudden you feel a heavy impact into your back, sending you staggering forward, and you take 5 points of damage. And you feel, after the impact, you feel like these, hot lines of pain down your back, as though, and you can feel warm dripping as blood drips down from the impact. It feels like there was some
turn around.
All right. As you turn around, you see a hunched, white-furred creature that is looks like it would be taller than you, but it's hunched over very much, so like with its back coming up on almost like a hump. The top of the hump is basically level with your head, and it's got these very, very long claws, pointed face, pointed ears, solid black eyes, and a mouthful of pointed teeth. And it just looks like it landed and dove down from a rooftop at you. It also has a very dull vacant expression on its face. Like it's not snarling or growling. It's just completely silent as it lands behind you.
What the fuck are you?
It makes absolutely no indication of recognition or really hearing you. And it starts kind of crawling forward towards you.
Oh, this is gonna be so dumb. This is so dumb. I pull out that scroll I have. Stay back.
It just keeps on going.
Moloch, I love you so much. If this goes badly, I love you so much. And I'm gonna use the spell scroll, the fireball spell scroll. 3rd level fireball on that thing.
All right. Are you gonna aim it like right at it or behind it so that the blast doesn't hit you?
Behind it so it doesn't hit me or Moloch.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you pull out the scroll. Let me remind myself on the rules of scrolls. I think you may need to make a check.
It is. The DC's 13.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the check to see if
intelligence check of 13.
All right. Go ahead and roll it.
Ah, fuck. It's a 7. So the scroll just. The spell scroll is destroyed.
Okay. So you take out the scroll. You start reading it, but it's a little high level for you. You're not quite familiar enough with it, so you start to read it. You stumble a few times on the words, and then it starts to burn up and vanish early as it sort of flakes up. And there is still this like you can see the spell try to go off as like that bead of red light appears in the air and but it's shaking and moving around. And then there's the sound of an explosion, but it doesn't make it very far. And then there's this sucking sound.
Yeah. It says I have 2 of those spell scrolls in my inventory, the fireball ones.
Did he give you?
I think I accidentally put in 2. Because I think it was one of the sand one and then a fireball one.
Yes. Yeah. One of each. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why I said I had 2. Well, that sucked.
Yeah. However, I will say that the attempt at casting the spell was loud enough to draw Drusilla and Aja's attention. And you can you hear that kind of like half weird explosion sound, and then you can't hear what Hannibal is saying, but you can make out Hannibal's raised voice from like around the corner, basically.
Does he sound distressed?
I would say so, yes. Distressed, right. And there was like the sound of like a fiery explosion. So
I'll look at Drew, and then I'm gonna break into a sprint.
Okay. I'll need initiative for everybody.
At this point, my sickle and light hammer are both out.
Okay.
Initiative. Man, this fucking dice sucks. 4.
Okay.
Oh, Moloch needs to roll initiative too, right?
If you would like him to participate in combat, yes.
He's a beefy boy. He's got hit points.
Like 1 or 2.
Oh, okay. Only thing is 39, but yeah, it makes sense.
That's an adult version.
So let's just say he has 1 hit point.
Yeah, he's maybe more than 1, but not very many. He is he's a puppy. He's not a full grown one yet, because the full grown ones get
39.
Yeah, get large size too.
So how much would you say then?
Let's give him 5.
So he's technically a small, and then when he's grown up, he'll be medium.
I think he's they get medium. I'd say he's tiny at this point, but yeah.
Cool, 5 hit points. He's not fighting then.
Yeah, okay.
Moloch, go. Just hide in my coat.
All right, he'll hop up into a pocket, and he's growling at that thing with his hackles raised, but he seems concerned about it, so he listens to you and hops into your pocket.
Yep. 4 for initiative for Hannibal.
Okay, so Hannibal got a 4, Drusilla and Aja?
22.
Fuck.
Okay.
19.
Damn.
Okay. Okay. So Drusilla, you go first, and then Aja. I'm going to say it's going to take a round of you guys just running to catch up to Hannibal. So if you want to spend, or is there anything you want to do on your turn that's not just moving towards Hannibal?
No.
Okay, so the 2 of you basically just break into a run and start running around the corner. At the end of your turn, you turn the corner, and you're both about 30 feet away from this creature. You can see this, again, very big, long-limbed, white-furred creature advancing on Hannibal. And Hannibal has pulled out his hammer and sickle. And that will be the end of your turn. And this thing will go.
Oh, hi, guys. I'm going to die.
What did you do?
It attacked me out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Why is it always you?
Why is it jumping out of the darkness at me?
All right. As you guys come around the corner and start, shouting back and forth and talking to each other, and it realizes that it is outnumbered, it gets a frustrated look on its bestial face, and then there's Hannibal. It's looking at you, so you can see a moment of concentration, and then like just a very small pinprick flash of purple light behind its eyes, and then copies of it just appear to its left and right. Kind of not necessarily spread out, but stuck fairly close together like a funhouse mirror version of it. Like they all move in unison, but as they start to move around, it's hard to tell exactly which one is the real one.
Fucking
and as it does that, or after it does that, it is going to turn and leap to a nearby wall and clamber up onto a rooftop about 10 feet up.
Attack of opportunity.
Well, you bet, or oh, that's true. I suppose, yeah. You go ahead and take your attack of opportunity. That's right. You were right next to it, and I believe you have. Okay, take the spell.
I'm gonna use
my. Go ahead and roll it. Go ahead and roll the attack.
I'm gonna use my light hammer.
Okay.
Let's hit. 14 to hit.
14 does hit, but let's see if it actually hits the real thing.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so you go ahead and you swing, and it looks like you're about to hit, and then poof, your hammer goes right through air, and then that duplicate just vanishes. So now there are 3 total, 2 duplicates. And that'll make it then Hannibal's turn.
All right. Oh, man, this is bad, you guys. Senko, goodbye. And as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Arcane Weapon on my light hammer.
Okay.
I'm going to make it lightning, obviously. So my little light hammer crackles with blue lightning. And since it's a returning light hammer, I'm going to throw it Thor style at that thing.
Okay. Go ahead and make the attack roll.
All right. I just need to double check something with Arcane Weapon. Okay, cool. So to hit, I doubt that'll hit. That's a 10 to hit.
That will miss. All of them kind of like lean in opposite directions, and like the crowd of them parts, and it just flies through them, and then arcs up over, and then comes back down to your hand.
God. Okay.
All right, anything else?
No, it's up to you guys now, and I'm gonna free action pat Moloch on the head.
Okay, scratch him in your pocket. Drusilla, that brings us to you.
How far away is this creature from me?
At this point, it's about 30 feet away, but 10 feet up on top of a rooftop.
I'm going to throw my boomerang at it.
Okay.
It's a dirty 20.
That definitely hits. Let me see real quick if it actually hits the real one. So you throw the boomerang, it looks like it's about to hit. One other duplicate vanishes. And then your boomerang comes back to you. Because that doesn't count as a hit for the purposes of the boomerang's returning.
Okay.
Because it there's no resistance as it just flies right through the duplicate.
Right.
All right. Aja, that will bring us to you.
Do I have any sense that these things are fixated on Hannibal?
As it's hard to tell, it's only seemed to attack Hannibal. You can see that Hannibal appears to be wounded. But as the two of you have shown up, its attention is moving back and forth between all of you, and you can see it like considering its options.
And how far away is it from Hannibal and Drusilla?
Drusilla is still about 30 or so feet away from it down the road. Hannibal is pretty much right next to the building that it's on top of.
All right, Aja's going to move next to Hannibal, and I'm going to hold my action for something approaches. And I'll attack.
All right. Because you have a glaive, right?
I do. Is it close enough to attack it with?
So since it's up on a 10-foot rooftop, your glaive can reach it from where it is.
All right, then I will attack it.
Okay.
22.
That does hit. Let me see if it hits a duplicate. No. Okay, so you feel resistance as you swing, and it does actually bite into the real thing.
12 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you feel the blade at the end of your glaive strikes true, and you can see red blood begin to pour out from under its white fur, matting it down. But there's it has a complete lack of reaction. It just sort of like you hit and it tries to get out of the way, but as you hit, there's no cry of pain, no snarl of anger. You hit and there's just a slight grunt, and then just its eyes. It looks like it was trying to pick a target, and as you do that, its eyes settle down on you.
Okay.
And on its turn, it is going to, as you do that, it kind of backs up a step, not enough for like an attack of opportunity, but it just kind of hunkers down and looks down at you, and both you and Hannibal can see that slight pinprick flash of purple light behind its eyes, and the glaive in your hand starts to glow and heat up.
Oh, man.
So, since you are just in contact with it, it just does damage.
Heat metal.
Yep.
Man.
So that is so you're holding it, and you don't notice until too late that the glaive heats up painfully hot, and you take 8 points of fire damage.
Oof.
Oof.
Aja will grunt, but hold on.
You need to make me a Constitution saving throw to see if you hold on.
21.
Okay, you grit your teeth and fight through the pain and manage to hang on to your glaive. And it looks like it did that and then basically started moving, counting on you dropping it. So as it leaves your reach, you may make an attack of opportunity.
That is a nat 20, my friend.
Ooh, all right. Roll either roll 2 dice or roll 1 die and double it.
19.
19 damage?
Yeah.
Ouch. All right, so you bite into this thing with your glaive and manage to score a very good cut, like all the way down its back. You can just feel yourself digging into muscle as it leaps up and it like clings to the side of a building higher up to get outside of your reach. But then that will be the end of its turn, bringing us to Hannibal. And your glaive is still hot, and it looks like there's still like a connection there. And the spell is continuous.
I'm gonna get as close as I can to it.
Okay, you're pretty much as close as you can get. It's like on the wall above you.
Light hammer up on the wall. I'm gonna throw it up.
You throw that up there. Go ahead and roll the attack.
Oh, almost a nat 20. That is a 24 to hit.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot to roll for the duplicate for Aja's crit, but that's okay. I will roll it for Hannibal's though. No, you do hit. You managed to find the real one because there's still 2 of them climbing up the wall.
Okay, so the hammer damage, the bludgeoning, is only 4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
But the lightning damage is 1.
1 lightning. All right. You throw your hammer. Electricity arcs off of it as it flies up, illuminating the side of the building, passing by a couple of windows and lighting up the inside as it hits into it, and then flies back and returns to your hand.
Okay, thank you, and that's my turn.
Okay. That will bring us to Drusilla. You are about 30 feet away. You can see Aja's just been carving into this thing. Hannibal's throwing his hammer up, and it's about 20 feet up on the wall outside of Aja's reach with the glaive.
How's it looking like?
It's hard to tell. It's definitely bleeding, but every hit that it's taken has seemed to it seems like it has very little sense of self-preservation. Like every hit that it's taken has cut into it and dealt visual damage, but it's showing no sign of injury or wear and not reacting at all to this significant amount of injury it's taking.
Okay, and Hannibal and Aja are 30 feet away, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Here we go. So Drusilla's going to take her quarterstaff and just slam it down on the ground, and then a spirit bear will appear beside Hannibal and Aja as It's her spirit totem.
Boss.
All right.
And
What color is the spirit?
it's like a nice purple.
All right. It's like a translucent purple bear spirit materializes beside the two of you and silently roars up at the creature.
Ah, fuck.
So now Hannibal and Aja gain 7 temporary hit points.
Okay.
And
Needs those.
have strength advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So that will. All right. So is that your turn?
That's my bonus action.
Oh, that's your bonus action. All right.
So after doing that, she's gonna boomerang.
All right. Go ahead and roll the boomerang.
It's good. It's a 4.
That will miss entirely. You throw it like down the center of the street. It's a very nice arc and flies right back to you. Doesn't get anywhere near the thing.
Cool. Cool. So
There, but luckily, it looks like Hannibal and Oz are too distracted by the big bear thing next to them to really notice that. Just whiff.
Cool. So it's a 30-foot radius from the bear.
Okay, good to know. All right. And did you step into that radius, or did you stay just at the edge of it?
I'm staying at the edge.
Okay. And that will bring us then to Aja.
So the things are now 30 feet away or so?
No, it's a 30 foot away from Drusilla. It's 20 feet up the wall from you.
Can I position myself in such a way that if they were to come to either Hannibal or Aja, I would be able to take my attack of opportunity as they got in range?
Well, so you don't. You mean like readying an action to attack it?
Yep.
Yes, basically, if you moved so
That's
that
the thing I can do with my polearm feat.
you took. You have polearm master?
No, I don't. I don't. I would be ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I position myself so that I could attack anything that came for either of them?
Yes. So you move around. You can move around basically so that Hannibal is between you and the wall, so that you could reach either side of Hannibal and then all around you. All right.
Okay.
So that will make it its turn. It's going to reach a clawed hand out towards you, Aja, and clench its fist. And since you're still holding on to the hot glaive, the damage will repeat for 7 more fire damage. And I need another Constitution saving throw.
Bye 10 hit points.
Oh yeah, yeah. 15.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you hang on to it again, and it kind of like runs down the wall to next to Hannibal. Again, looks like it was counting on you letting go, so you get to make your attack or your ready to attack on it as it comes and lands down next to Hannibal.
That is 17 plus 5, 22.
All right. Its duplicate follows it down, so let's see if you hit the right one. All right, you swing at it, and this time, you arc your glaive down or up to meet it. The last duplicate, and there's just the one. But it comes down and lands next to Hannibal, and it is going to make 2 claw strikes at Hannibal.
Cool.
So first attack is a nat 1. So it swings its claw, and you duck underneath, and it just shatters a window right next to it and pulls its claw back, and you can see like bits of broken glass just stuck into its palm.
Well, that's rude.
Swing with the other hand at you. That one is a 20.
That hits.
Not natural. All right.
Was that
For 8 damage.
Oof, there goes my 10 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
I now have 8 hit points left.
All right. Yeah, it swings at you, and you can feel like the emanating, warm, comforting, strengthening energy of that bear spirit as it swings at you. That purple glow emanating from it seems to solidify in front of you. This happens for both of you as you get, or this happens for you more specifically. It seems to solidify in front of you. The claw like almost stops before it breaks through and manages, and only does a little bit of damage to your actual person.
Yeah, 1 point to me.
Yep. All right, and then now it is standing right next to you, bleeding profusely from all of these different wounds, with its claws out, blood dripping from one hand as it's just got like a couple of sizable shards of glass sticking out of its palm, and then your own little bit of blood dripping from its claws in the other hand, bringing it to Hannibal's turn.
All right. I'm going to bring down the light hammer on top of its head.
Okay. Roll.
13 to hit.
That just barely hits. It's like about to pull out of the way, and you manage to clip it right on the forehead.
So that's nice. 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then for the lightning, that's 5 lightning damage.
Okay. So, bam, you bring it down on top of its head, and then there's lightning arcs out from around it, and it like blinks a few times.
And then offhand attack, I'm going to come up and bring the sickle up under its chin.
Okay. Roll it.
Natural 20.
Okay. So double the dice, but since it's an offhand attack, no
modifier.
No modifier, yeah.
All right. Fuck, 2 damage.
Oof. All right. It is, you bring it up and you manage to it pulls away, so you don't necessarily bring it up into its chin, but you do manage to just give a shallow cut up at the front of its chest before it leans back out of your reach. Now it's you can see it's like, despite the fact that it is it has not been really reacting to any of these things, you can see it just involuntarily starting to sway from blood loss at this point.
Okay.
And that will bring us then to Drusilla's turn.
Oh, I have to make a concentration check first. I forgot Arcane Weapons concentration.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's con. Is it con save for concentration?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
7.
Okay, so then that would have been when you took the damage.
Yeah.
I forgot about concentration.
No 5 lightning damage.
Right. Okay, so I will subtract that.
So Arcane Weapons goes bye-bye.
It's looking a little less bad than it actually was. There was no lightning on it. All right.
Yeah, fuck. All right.
You want to move or anything?
Nope.
Okay, Drusilla, back to you.
Is there a drop of water anywhere near us?
Water? Yes, you can find there's just general condensation, like general collected water from some stagnant puddles a few places, and I suppose like some barrels that have collected rainwater.
Okay. And this creature's still within 60 feet of me?
It is.
Okay. She's going to hold her hand out, and one of those drops of water is going to form into a shard of ice and fling itself at the thing as she casts Ice Knife.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So, yeah. That's 18 plus 5 to hit.
That definitely hits. So Drusilla water bends some water out of a nearby barrel, and as it flows through the air, it turns into this sharpened icicle, knife shape, and then in a flash just solidifies into ice before shooting like a bullet straight out at this thing and piercing into it. Roll damage.
So it takes 3 piercing damage, and then it explodes.
Okay. What does the explosion do?
It explodes. The target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
Okay, so Hannibal and Aja need you to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh no!
I'm really sorry.
Dex 9.
Okay, it got 10.
16.
All right.
Safe. DC 30.
Okay. Is it save for half or save for none?
It just says must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take.
Okay, so
I take
Aja
36 cold damage.
All right, yeah. So Aja dodges easily out of the way of this as the icicle explodes into shards. Just she used to holds up her armor and manages to deflect it, and it shatters off of that. Hannibal is not so lucky though.
What?
So he and the creature both just get peppered with shards of ice. So roll the 2d6.
For 2d6. For 6 damage, cold damage.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I have resistance to cold damage. As a Triton.
Oh, nice. You only take 3.
Yeah.
So it hits you, but you manage to it's not as bad. You're I'm naturally supposed to be swimming in the icy depths at the bottom of the ocean, so that's fine.
What the heck?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay, that will bring us to Aja.
Is anything in range?
It is, yeah, it's right next to you.
What would you charge me as far as action economy to drop the glaive and pull my longsword?
Dropping an item is a free action. And then drawing your longsword is your manipulate object. So that you can just do that and you still have all your actions left.
Okay. Then I will drop the glaive, pull the longsword, and I will attack it.
All right. So you drop the glaive, it lands in a puddle, and there's just sort of a as it lands, as the hot glaive lands in the water.
13.
13 just hits.
And that is a D8. 8 points of damage.
Oof. All right. It is just barely hanging on.
And then I'm going to action surge and do it again.
Oh, all right.
15.
That also hits. Roll damage.
Oh, nice. 11.
How would you like to kill this thing?
Take the long sword, slash across it once, bring it back overhand, and just plunge it straight down.
Right. So you slash across its chest. You can see the blood start to pour out. As you do that, you can see that sort of blank, slack expression in its face finally breaks, and it goes into this bestial snarl and anger as it seems to suddenly, like, all of its self-preservation instincts kick in at the last second, and you can see its muscles surge as it's about to lunge forward with increased strength at you. But as it does, you just take your sword and stab it into its chest, and then just slumps over right at your feet.
What the heck? What's that saying?
What did you do this time?
It attacked
What?
me from behind
Nice.
out of nowhere. Moloch, are you okay?
It's like leaning out of your pocket and barking down at the thing.
Can I try to determine what it is through my studying, if possible?
You can. If any of you would like to make me either a history or arcana check, you can. And Hannibal, due to your background, I would say make it with advantage.
Cool, I got +4 to both.
Okay.
That is an 18 for arcana.
Okay. Anybody else want to try?
Drusilla will look, and she got a 19 for arcana.
Okay.
Aja's going to keep watch.
Okay, so Aja keeps watch around. All right, both of you are, Drusilla and Hannibal, you work together and realize that it took you a minute to recognize this thing because it is actually incredibly out of place. This is a creature naturally found in the Underdark, and that's why it didn't strike you immediately as what it was. But this is something that definitely, if you didn't know it already, it came up in your 2 years of training. This is something called a Quaggoth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They are, and especially given the abilities this one had, it must have been a particularly powerful one and one that had psionic capabilities. They are usually slaves of the Drow that live in the Underdark. However, with Hannibal, did you roll history or arcana?
Arcana.
Arcana? Okay. So both of you would recognize, though, they're normally fairly, like, they have fairly humanoid levels of intelligence. But even then, they tend to have fairly feral, animalistic tendencies. And what you saw at the end, that, like, snarling and growling that it did just before Aja plunged the sword in, based on what you've read and heard and been trained, that should have been its behavior pretty much the entire time. That eerie quiet and calmness it had throughout the whole time seemed incorrect. And you would both be able to, with your arcana checks, piece together that it appeared to have been under some kind of direct mind control while it was fighting you.
Okay. So, this thing is definitely mind controlled, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I'm going to kneel down with my sickle and cut off a couple of its fingers.
Okay. They're very, very long, like a lot of length between each knuckle, and kind of, you can see underneath the fur, it's very, very thin. Despite how big it seems, its fur is fairly fluffy to kind of keep it warm in the Underdark. So underneath, it's kind of got like these very long, thin fingers, almost like bulbous, knotted knuckles.
Okay. And I'm going to take one of those fingers. I'm going to slide it into my coat towards Moloch.
Okay. And you can hear like the sounds of him quietly munching on it and tearing it apart, and then like little tufts of fur keep popping out from over the pocket as he's like spitting them out.
So what would a creature from the Underdark be doing up here?
And why would they target you?
Why is it always you?
So that's a question I want to know as well. Huh.
Did you poop on it? Did you cut off one of its family's fingers?
I was walking
Have
down
you
the street.
assaulted someone?
It attacked me from behind as I was walking down the street. I take off my coat and I cast Mending wherever there's holes from the fight.
Okay. Yeah, you take it up. You got 3. The first time it landed on you, it got a pretty good sized claw attack at you, and your back is tender where you've got basically 3 long cuts down your, from like shoulder to hip basically. But as you kind of test them and feel at it, they feel pretty shallow. It didn't get very deep, but it did tear into your coat. So you just run your hand along it, and the fibers of the coat and fabric just kind of knit back together and close up, and you can't even tell that there was a cut there at all.
Hannibal, you shouldn't sleep alone tonight.
I'm not going to. I have Moloch.
We should stay wherever he is, or he should stay with us, Drew.
But he can't stay with us.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
We'll stay with him. It's fine.
I can stay at
No,
inn. I just need to disguise myself.
No, you can't.
Yes,
we're not doing it.
I just disguise myself.
No, she doesn't want you there.
She won't know it's me if I'm disguised.
It's not the point, Hannibal. It's not the point at all. We'll stay with you. It's fine.
I was just going to sleep in an alleyway.
Then we're sleeping in an alleyway.
All right. I look for an alleyway.
Okay. Are you looking for anything particular in your alleyway, or just any alleyway? Any alleyway. All right. You find plenty. There are so many around. There's a lot.
Any comfy looking ones?
You can find some that have some like more comfortable looking trash and like some overhangs, like awnings that you could get underneath to get a little bit of shelter.
Yeah, I'll probably like go look for one that's got shelter.
Oh yeah, you managed to find one of those pretty easily.
And then I just, well, this is our bedroom for the night.
Drew, if you want a bed, I'll stay and watch.
I'll be fine. Wouldn't be the first time I slept outside.
Okay, so you're all gonna take a nap, take some sleep in this alleyway.
I guess. Yep.
Okay. Aja, did you say you were gonna be on watch?
Yeah, I'll take watch.
Okay. A little bit into the night, as it's continuing to be, as the night continues on, I'm going to need you to make me a perception check.
That is a second, not 20.
Wow. Okay. You are sitting there, and just it is dead silent, and you just sit completely still, and you think you hear something. You like hold your breath, and just sit and listen. And from a very good distance away, you can hear the sounds of footsteps approaching. You can hear them coming from both sides of the alley. You can hear them coming like from down the other side of the alleyway and the street towards the opening you guys came into. They sound small. You can hear the sound of like leather impacting the dirt and cobblestones, giving the impression that whatever is coming down here is wearing shoes. You can hear this kind of light scraping, bumping sound. Sounds kind of like wood on fabric. Something almost like hanging at a hip, bouncing as somebody walks. You would probably guess a weapon. Sorry?
How much time has gone by since we sort of settled in?
I'd say this is about 2 hours, so if you all want to take the benefits of a short rest, you can.
That's why I ask.
Mm-hmm.
I would like that very much.
Okay.
I'm going to second win with mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to roll 2, hit both my hit dice. Or 1. I think I'll be good with 1. I rolled a d10. I need a d8, not a d10.
Nice. Puts me up.
Interesting.
And as I hear it, I will nudge the others up. Something's coming.
And you're hearing, because of the nat 20, you're hearing this from a good distance away. And as you're getting everybody up, the last thing before the movement of your party members starts to cover up these sounds, because you're hearing like very, very faint sounds that you're managing to pick out. The last thing you hear before your party members kind of drown out the sound of their movement is just the sliding of wood against leather, sound of, in your experience, drawing weapon. It seems like runs through you and come in from both sides of the alleyway. You managed to hear them from so far off that they haven't managed, like, the ones at the far end of the alley, the one farthest away from you, they're getting to the entrance and going to start pretty soon, going to be starting to come down towards you. The ones that are trying to come to your side, though, you had enough warning that they're still like down the street from you.
We should run. We should get out of this pincer thing.
Where?
Up. Let's go. Come on. And maybe make a break for the closest one.
Wait, I have an idea how to lose them.
Sorry, making a break for the closest what?
The closest group, so we're not caught in the middle.
Oh, so you just want to charge them?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Hannibal, so is everyone in agreement in charging and attacking?
That's my suggestion to the as we get ready.
All right.
I'll have a stick of butter in my hand as we're running. That I take out of my bag.
Okay. Drusilla,
Is the stream down?
No.
I'm still saying it.
No, it just went offline for me. But yeah, I guess let's charge.
Okay, so you guys just come running out of this alleyway towards the street, and you can see two figures coming down the street that are suddenly like taken aback from your sudden charge out. What you see are a pair of very short humanoids with grayish skin, long ears, wearing what looks almost like leather miner's clothes, each of them holding a pick. They basically look like small gray-skinned gnomes with bulbous noses. And both of them, though, their eyes are sort of have that foggy, glazed-over, dark quality that the Quaggoth had. And their surprise soon fades as that slack, blank expression comes over their faces as they ready themselves to face you.
Argent Drusilla, out of the way, please.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna mash that butter down in my. Can I mash that butter down in my hand real quick?
I'll say you guys can get. If you do this like as you're moving, I'll say each of you can get like one action as you're moving.
I'm gonna mash that butter down in my gloved hand.
Mm-hmm.
And and then where they are,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna squish that butter down and cast grease.
Okay, you actually have the proper materials for it this time.
So they need to make it. When the grease appears, each creature standing in the area must succeed in a dex saving throw or fall prone.
All right.
A creature that enters the area or ends its turn there must also succeed or fall prone.
Okay. So, you said dexterity saving throw?
Yep.
All right. See what they get. First one got a 4.
Fail.
Second one got an 11.
Both fail.
All right. So they're coming towards you. That blank expression appears on their faces, and then grease just like swells up out of the ground underneath them. And as they go to take a step forward, they both just silently, like, they still have that completely stoic expression in their faces, but you can see them like trying to keep their footing before both of them just slip their feet out from underneath them and they land on their backs.
Oh, it worked. It worked. Yes.
Now let's get some initiative.
11.
5.
All right, Drusilla?
4.
Ooh, okay. All right, so Hannibal got the 11.
Yep.
And then was it Drusilla or who got the 5? Aja?
Yes, Aja got
Okay.
5.
And then Drusilla last.
Yeah.
All right. So the ones in front of you, they managed to go first. So they get their footing and come to their feet. And they're both about 20 feet away from you. They're both going to reach hands out in your direction. And I need Aja and Hannibal to both make me 1 second. I believe it is Constitution saving throws.
Okay. 12.
Okay.
21.
All right, both of you. They reach their hands out towards you as they stand up, and you can your vision starts to cloud and darken, almost like you're dehydrated and started to black out, and your vision just starts to go blurry and fade. But both of you shake your head, and your vision clears for a second. You do not go blind. And that is what they've got. And then you can hear pretty much as soon as the grease spell went off, you started to hear just the quiet sneaking footsteps from behind you turn into sprinting, and 2 more of them appear out of the alleyway that you just left, but it seems like they had to run to get to that point, so they appear behind you.
Cool.
And that will bring us to Hannibal.
So do they just get up from the grease and not move?
Yeah,
they have to make a saving throw again if they're...
they're still in it? All right.
Yeah.
All right, so the one on the left got a 10.
Falls back down.
And the one on the right got an 18.
He succeeds.
All right, so one on the left, slips and falls back down. The one on the right manages to keep his footing.
All right. And it's my turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the one that's struggling on the ground, how far away did you say it was?
20 feet.
All right, and the grease pool is a 10-foot radius. So I'm going to throw my light hammer at it.
That will be with disadvantage because it's prone.
Yep.
There's one standing that would be without disadvantage.
Let's start with the one that's standing then. That makes more sense. 16 to hit.
That does hit, yes. It looks like these are wearing armor, but looks like they've got some sort of chainmail on under their leather vests. But your hammer strikes right in the middle and just poof.
All right. It's 5 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then I'm actually going to use 20 feet of movement, I'm going to use 20 feet of movement to get up close to them. It means I'm going to go into the grease.
Okay.
I think if I enter it, I have to make the saving throw myself.
So make a save against unspelled save DC.
I'm just going to check real quick. A creature that enters the area, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
15 straight, DC's 12.
Okay.
So I'm good. And then the one that's lying down, I'm going to attack it with my sickle.
All right, roll with advantage because it's prone.
No, that's a 9 to hit.
Yeah, it manages, you swing down with your sickle, and even though it's on its back, it manages to get the handle of its war pick up between you, and your sickle bites into the wooden handle, but it manages to push you off.
All right, and I'm going to I moved 20, I'm going to move 10 feet back to get out of the grease.
Okay.
So do they get attack of opportunity?
Yes, the one on the ground will have it with disadvantage because it's prone, but the one up will swing normally.
Yeah.
On the ground, got an 8.
Miss.
So yeah, just pushes you off and then tries to swing at you, but you're already outside its reach. It can't really see because it's laying down, swinging blind. The other one, though, swings without disadvantage and gets a 21.
That hits. Fuck these deep gnomes.
What? How did you know they are? Yeah, they're deep gnomes. Svirfneblen.
Svirfneblen.
All right, you take 5 points of piercing damage as the other one manages to catch you in the shoulder with the point of its pick.
Hannibal did not like that. But yeah, 10. Then I get 10 feet back from the grease.
Okay. And then that'll bring us to Aja's turn.
So how far away are they?
20 feet.
And they are in grease and I am not?
Correct. If you get to the edge of the grease, you can reach them with your glaive.
All right, then I will do that.
Okay. Are you attacking the one that's prone or the one that's standing?
I think I'll do the one that's prone, actually, so I'll get advantage, right?
Yes, you do.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
21.
That definitely hits. So yeah, that one managed to just catch Hannibal's sickle with its pick and push him off, take a blind swing, and then you just come up and just hack down into him.
Yeah, just twirl it. 10.
10 damage?
Yeah.
Oof. All right. Yeah, you swing that and just you can see just hear an involuntary just grunt and exhale as you drive the wind out of it. Seems like you can hear just the popping sound of several of the links on its chainmail break and bust open, but also just there was kind of like a heavy impact as you hit its chainmail and drove the wind out of it. All right. Anything else in your turn?
I think that's all I can do.
Okay. I don't know if you have a bonus action.
I do, but I don't think. Can I attack twice with that?
Only with an offhand weapon.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Drusilla, to you.
Is Aja in the grease or no?
She went right to the edge of it because she has
cool.
her weapon has reach.
Yep.
So Drusilla.
How's everybody, like Aja and Hannibal? How are they looking?
2 hit points.
Max hit points.
My short rest didn't give me shit.
Okay. How close is Hannibal to Drusilla?
You moved up and then you moved back 10. You're right at the edge of the grease, so Hannibal is like 10 feet away from you.
10 feet. Okay. So we're gonna move up. Just put a hand on Hannibal's arm. Cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Because
He squish.
You V-squish. So that is 7 hit points back.
Nice. To 9 out of 4. Oh no. Oops, I accidentally did that as damage. You said 7, right?
Yes.
Cool. 9 out of 14.
All right.
Okay.
Anything with bonus action?
With the bonus action, she's again going to slam the quarterstaff down, but this time, instead of a bear, a purple kind of spiritual hawk will appear on her shoulder.
All right, cool. Flies out and lands on your shoulder. All right. That will then bring us to the ones in front of you. They're going to, the one that's on the ground is going to stand up, and they're both going to move back to the other side of the grease. So, Aja, since you're still standing there, you can make an attack of opportunity against either of them.
I'll take the one that I hit before.
Okay.
That's going to be at 14.
That does not hit. You swing, but it manages to turn in such a way as it's going that your blade just kind of glances along the chainmail and doesn't manage to pierce through it. Might leave a bruise, but not enough to do damage. All right, and then they've back up, and they are both going to reach in and pull out what appears to be a dart, and they're both going to throw those darts at one at Hannibal and one at Aja.
Do it. Bring it. Bring it. Fun.
Hannibal, 19.
Yeah. 12 AC.
Aja, 21.
Oh, yes.
All right, both of you get hit. So, Hannibal, you take 5 points of piercing damage.
Oof. Down to 4.
Aja, you take 6. And I need Constitution saving throws from both of you.
Ooh, 19. I got +4 to con saves.
All right, you are good.
16.
All right, you're both good. You feel like as they hit you, you can feel a little bit of wooziness coming over you as you can tell that they were poisoned, but you managed to fight it off, and you are not poisoned by them. That will then bring us to the 2 in the back, the 2 behind you. They are going to move up, so they are just fairly close behind you. And I'm going to need Aja and Drusilla now to make Constitution saving throws as your vision begins to cloud.
16 again.
Shake it off.
Natural 20.
All right, yeah, you both completely shake it off. They look, there's just a look of mild, distant disappointment as their ability fails to take hold, and you both retain your sight. And that will bring us back to Hannibal. So there's 2 on the other side of the grease that just threw darts at you, and then 2 approaching up from behind you, who just tried to blind Drusilla and Aja, and it did not work.
I'm going to spin around real quick.
Okay.
And throw my light hammer at the one-on-ones behind us.
All right.
13.
It manages to bring up the haft of its pick, and boink, your hammer bounces off into the air before catching itself and then flying back to your hand.
Okay. shit. I'm going to move through the grease and attack the ones that moved past it.
Okay, saving throw against your own grease.
Yep. 14. So I just walk through the grease.
Yep, you managed to stiff leg it and don't slip.
It's right in front of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to attack the one that looks the most hurt. I think that's the one on the left.
Yeah, the one that Aja managed to hit real good.
I'm going to swing my sickle.
Before you do, are they within 30 feet of Drusilla?
Yes.
I will grant Hannibal advantage.
Okay, you have advantage.
I'm going to rake it across its neck, my sickle.
All right. The hawk flies off Drusilla's shoulder.
I'm so glad. Because that was a 1 and a 19. So the 19,
nice.
19 plus 5, 24.
That hits.
Or so, 19 plus 4, 23. Sorry.
So it blocks it's about to block your strike, but then the hawk flies off Drusilla's shoulder and lets out a screech and distracts it at the last second, and it drops its guard, and you manage to swing that sickle up towards its neck. Roll damage.
4 slashing.
All right, this thing, you slash at its neck, and it is like, it's a shallow cut, but it's pretty much across half of its neck, and you just see a curtain of blood dripping down underneath its armor, and it's just like starting to droop and fade, and you can see the color starting to drain from its face, and it is barely still standing.
Free action, I flip at the bird.
Okay. And then the bird flips in the air and then returns back to Drusilla.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, Aja, back to you.
Still within reach of the glaive?
No, they've moved to the other side, so they are now 20 feet away from you.
Can I move up to the edge of the grease again? Or do I have to go through it?
You have to go through it. They moved to the other side of the grease. They have exited on the other side.
And how far away are the ones behind?
They are like 10 feet away. They're very close.
How do they all look?
The two that were in front of you, the one that you attacked first and Hannibal just hit, is doing terrible. The other one in front is doing all right, and the two behind you have taken no damage.
And they're 10 feet away?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will attack one of the ones that's within 10 from behind.
All right, so you just whip your glaive around and not even move an attack.
Yep, it's going to be a 16.
Just hits.
9.
9 damage? Okay. So that one goes from looking great to looking much less great as you surprise him by spinning around and attacking and catching him in the side with the glaive.
Does action surge reset with a short rest or a long rest?
That is
long
a good
rest,
question.
I think. Long rest.
Yeah.
No, short rest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have your action surge back. That's really cool.
Well, let me look. Take one. On your turn, once he must finish a short or a long rest.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I'll do it again.
All right, so you let the adrenaline surge into your body and attack a second time.
23.
That hits.
13.
13 damage.
Yeah, maxed
Wow.
it.
All right, so this one goes from being absolutely fine to you swing behind it. You swing behind you and catch it like under the arm and a gap in its armor, and it looks down, surprised, but then like going to attack, expecting you to be done. You spin it around and then just skewer it through the chest, and it just hangs there on the end of your glaive for a second before you just pull back, and it slumps down backwards onto the ground, blood pooling from the glaive impact that went all the way through its chest. Cool. That one is dead.
Oh.
Asha's gonna roar.
All right. Drusilla, back to you.
I am officially terrified now of Aja. Holy hell. So there's one behind and two in front.
Mm-hmm. One behind is undamaged. The two in front, one is looking awful, and another one is looking all right.
I'm going to move 5 feet towards the one in back.
Okay.
And then with the quarterstaff, just
move up to it, just swing. All right.
Yeah.
Roll an attack.
It's a 12.
Just catches your quarterstaff on its war pick, and then but like very calm, passive. Just.
I'm gonna move back to where I was so that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would. Oh wait, because quarterstaff doesn't have reach.
It has a 5 foot reach.
That's basically like.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Okay, so he will take the attack of opportunity then. All right. That's a 10.
That's not it.
Catches it, swings at you again, but you manage to just back up and just whiffs in front of you.
Man.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay, that'll bring us to the ones in front. So they are up there with Hannibal.
I'm flipping them off, both of them.
All right, they're both going to attack you with their war picks, right there.
Do it.
All right. What's their bonus? All right. First one is an 11.
Miss.
All right, that was the very injured one.
Just misses.
And then the other one gets an 8.
Woo!
So yeah, they both swing at you at the same time. You got your warhammer and your sickle. You catch one with the sickle, and then you catch one with the light hammer, and just block both of them, shove them back.
Guys, I'm amazing.
And then the one in back, who's still back there, is going to stay back. He's going to back up a little bit again, out or away from Aja, and is going to fire up, or is going to throw a poison dart at Drusilla.
Rude.
For a 14.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. Take 6 points of piercing damage. And can I get a Constitution saving throw?
It's a 4.
Okay.
Ouch.
It hits you and just, whoa, you don't feel so good all of a sudden. Oh boy, you are poisoned. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, but poison basically you have disadvantage on practically everything.
Oh, cool.
That's not great.
Cool.
All right, but that is the end of their turn, and that brings us back to Hannibal. So you have these two right next to you, one very, very injured, one doing pretty all right.
So as I block the weapons, I'm going to like kind of parry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring the light hammer down on the one that's not looking so great on top of his little Sverferblum head.
Okay. Roll it.
That is probably not, 14.
Just misses.
Fuck. And then I'm just going to try to sickle him across the throat again.
Okay, roll it.
Same thing.
Do you still have that thing you can give advantage with?
I do actually, yes. Because the reaction would be reset, so.
It is up to you whether you want to use it.
Sure.
Okay, Hannibal, you may roll.
On the last attack, the sickle one?
Yeah, I'll say so.
Natural 20.
Okay.
But it's sickle with no...
I mean, he had 2 health left, so you literally can't not.
6 damage.
All right, so yeah, you swing in, and this time you get a little bit more forward, and you just catch, instead of kind of catching across the front of the throat, you dig in hard into the side and just take out a whole good chunk of his throat, and there's just like a gurgling sound as he falls over forward.
His esophagus is stuck to my sickle.
Oh, gross. Okay, and then that is Hannibal's turn. That'll bring us to Aja. We have 1 in front and 1 in back now.
How far away is the one in back? 10?
He's backed up to be about 15 away from you.
All right, I'll move to within 10 and attack again.
Okay.
19.
That definitely hits.
11.
Okay.
Sorry, 9.
9, okay. So yeah, you come up and you swing your glaive at them, and they are, like, you can tell the ones that are still up, they have that, like, their faces are emotionless, but what little emotion is coming through, you can just see moments of little flickers of fear anytime you come close to them or, like, direct your attention to them at this point.
Would it require an action of me to also use my intimidation in some way?
I'm going to say that because from what the others told you, I would say that in this circumstance, normally you'd be able to just intimidate them as a free action, but from what the others mentioned, it seems like they are under very powerful, very direct mind control. So even if you did successfully intimidate him and he wanted to run, he would not be able to, because something is keeping him here. Okay, yeah, you could see like the face, like melts into fear for a second before that blank expression forces its way back and returns. Its knees shake for a second. All right, and then that will be Drusilla. 2 left, 1 in front, 1 behind, both injured.
And I am also not doing so great.
And you are poisoned.
Dope. Oh my god. Oh no. Let's go. We're gonna ice knife the one in back with Aja.
Okay. And Aja is not adjacent to it because of her glaive, so she is not within range of the explosion.
So disadvantage on the attack because of poison?
Yes, because of poison.
Okay. That is a 16.
That still hits.
So piercing damage is 7.
Okay.
It exploded. So gotta make a dexterity saving throw.
Well, it would if that 7 didn't kill it.
Oh, cool.
So you throw this ice knife at it. There's like a puddle of water on the ground that you wave your hands and it flows up in front of you, and the trailing water solidifies into a blade that then just turns forward and just shoots forward, embeds itself in his chest, and you can see him just like just start to clutch the wound for a second as it vanishes before poof, it explodes out into shards of ice to explode out from him in every direction and shatter against the walls of the buildings on either side of the street, and then he just falls over, being made cushion.
All right, that's the end of my turn.
All right, the one that is left is over there with Hannibal, and it is just like it can tell that its friends are down, and it looks like it's just trying to do as much damage as possible. So it is just going to stoically swing that war pick at Hannibal.
Do it. Come on.
17.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. For 9 points of piercing damage.
Unconscious.
All right, so you guys, Drusilla just explodes this one, and you're like, all right, 1 left. You turn around just in time to see it leap up and just sink the war pick into like Hannibal's shoulder area down into his chest, and then bear him down to the ground. And then Hannibal is not really moving after that.
Wait, they're like really short, right?
Yeah, they're gnome sized.
And Hannibal's
6'4". Yeah.
It leaps up, grabs a hold of the lapel of his coat to like climb up him to sink this into his chest. And then it rides him down to the ground, just staring down at him. But that is its turn. Hannibal, your turn. Can I get a death saving throw?
Sure. 6.
That is 1 failure. Aja, your turn.
How far away is the one that's attacking Hannibal?
20 feet.
And can I get to the edge of the grease and attack it, or do I have to go through?
It's on the other side. You have to go through. You could also, with the movement you have, you could go around the grease, actually.
All right. I will shout to Drusilla. What will I say? I will say, take care of him. And I will start to move around. And
okay. You have to get around just as it turns to face you from bearing him down.
19.
That does hit.
7.
7 damage. Okay. You sink your glaive into its back, and it just kind of hunches forward, but then it stands up and turns to face you like you're next. And that'll bring us to Drusilla's turn.
question. Do I have to repeat the poison saving throw?
Yeah, so you can did you make it at the end of your last turn?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that now to see if you saved from the poison.
Jumped out of it, right? Con? 16.
Okay, yeah, you managed to shake it off. You're feeling a lot better. Your body managed to fight off the poison very quickly.
So I'm no longer poisoned.
Correct.
All right, cool. How far away is Hannibal from me?
Hannibal is where you are, I think 30 feet away.
30 feet away?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to him. I have 35 feet. Hell yeah.
All right. So the only thing is, Hannibal's pool of grease is between you and him.
Okay.
So the only thing is you might slip and fall and then end your movement right there.
Yeah.
But I will say that if you're just trying to get to him, if you want to like jump and just penguin slide your movement across the grease and end up and just like you can either basically run standing and risk falling prone and not getting there, or just jump prone and end prone to get up to him. And you'll definitely make it.
I need to get to him, so we're gonna go prone.
Okay, so Drusilla runs forward and just dives and kind of baseball slides forward and just penguin belly slides along the grease. And as you slide up, your hand lands on Hannibal's leg.
Okay. We'll try and stabilize.
Yes, you can.
Some medicine check.
Mm-hmm. You have a healer's kit?
Or a natural. No, I don't.
Okay, what did you get though?
Natural 20.
Wow. Okay. Natural 20 on a medicine check. Yeah, Hannibal. Yeah, you are awake with 1 hit point. As Drusilla like slides up to you and then climbs up and then just very quickly patches your wounds, and just some very small residual magic from her nature-based powers seeps through her workings, and your eyes pop open and you wake up at 1 hit point.
Moloch, are you okay?
He's like in your coat, which you landed backwards, luckily. So you didn't like land on top of him, but yeah, he's like trapped underneath your coat. Okay. That will bring us to the last one's turn.
Yep.
Adjacent, or pretty much next to all of you. So let's see who he decides to attack. If he wants to try and knock out Hannibal, attack the prone Drusilla, or go for the challenging one in Aja.
The very scary one.
I'm gonna determine this randomly. So Hannibal's 1, 2, Drusilla's 3, 4, and Aja's 5, 6.
I'm prone too.
Mm-hmm. And apparently it is looking for a challenge, so it just charges at Aja with the war pick, and
bring it, little man.
Leaps to swing.
Is it running through the grease though?
No, you're all on the same side of the grease. Right. It's a 21 to hit.
As it comes into range, no, that's not a thing. 21 hits.
Yeah, you need the Polar Master feat,
sorry,
which is really good. That
makes
sense. It's a really good feat, especially if you mix it with Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
Totally hits.
Which I'm not doing with Ash.
That's what's happening in our Mad Mage game right now. With a bow.
Okay.
What you got, Sam?
You take 8 points of damage. 8 points of piercing damage. It leaps up and sinks the war pick into you and just looks up into your face, and you can just you can tell that there's the fear underneath there, but the look on the face, that the controlled look on the face, is just hatred and just looking at you like you're a piece of dirt. Just can't stand the sight of you. But that is the end of its turn, bringing us to Hannibal. You're awake on the ground.
Stand up.
All right, you push yourself to your feet. You're shaking, you're bleeding, you're not doing so good, but you get to your feet.
I'm going to look him, that little guy, dead in the eye. I'm going to swing my hammer, and I'm going to hit him right in the middle of the face, just right in the nose.
All right, so you move up, and you're going to move up to an attack in melee range? All right.
Oh! For my hammer, that is a 17 plus 5 to hit.
That does hit. So you get up and you stumble, and you get faster and faster as you go, and he turns around over his shoulder just as you bring the hammer right down onto his face.
4 bludgeoning.
That is exactly what you needed. How does Hannibal end this encounter?
I cave his face in with the hammer, and I want bone shards to fall from his nose as my hammer just caves in his skull. And as he's falling to the ground, overcome with anger and rage, I'm going to keep slamming it on the Deep Gnome's head until there's nothing left. I cut out.
Just forward. What?
Oh, sorry. I thought I cut out.
No. Hannibal stumbles and shambles forward and lunges forward. His feet go out from underneath him and basically falls onto this thing and uses his weight to drive the hammer into its face, knocking it down. It basically just tumbles on top of it. The two of them falling to the ground, and as he lands on top, he just brings the hammer up and down and up and down again and again and again, just with the wet squelching noises. He just keeps bringing this hammer down into the thing's face. it's clear it's been dead after the first one, but he just keeps pulverizing it into the dirt.
We should find somewhere to be, somewhere safe. This is the second attack in as many hours.
Yes, that would be nice.
Let's where were you staying, Hannibal?
In this alleyway.
Before that?
Nowhere.
Didn't you get a room somewhere?
Nope.
He didn't get a chance to. You guys had like just separated when the Quaggoth attacked you.
All right. Let's go find a different inn.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
So you guys go searching for an inn. As you're walking along the streets, there is a bright flash of multicolored light in front of you, with like almost. It looks almost like light hitting a waterfall, like downward motion, downward particle motion, with multicolored rainbow light that flashes and fills the street in front of you before it ends. And you can see the familiar face of Orina, your handler, standing there in front of you. And as she looks and sees all of you, she goes, "Oh, good, you're all okay. Oh, you're safe. Oh, good. Oh, good."
What the fuck is happening?
We don't exactly know, but we've been getting reports that Gith enclaves, Gith agents, and Gith all over the place are being attacked.
I'm gonna gesture back at the deep gnomes on the ground. By Sam, maybe?
By all sorts of creatures of the Underdark and other things. The best we can determine is that we're under attack by most likely the Illithid.
Oh, great.
We don't exactly know how, but somehow they've learned the locations of nearly all of our agents and enclaves.
I bet they captured Reggie. I bet that's what happened.
And this is a Gith in front of us?
Yeah, this is Orina, the one that was like your handler and trainer, the one that was kind of like your point of contact over your 2 years of training.
Oh, this is great.
And how many of them are there? Just her?
Just her.
Aja's gonna walk up to her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Gonna grab her by the front of her tunic, pull her face towards her. She's just gonna growl, "Good."
I'm sorry?
Good.
Aja.
No, this is good. Let it happen.
What do you mean good? These are your siblings, your family. They're under attack.
You aren't my family, you filth.
I understand that you are distressed, but this is very serious.
Fucking right it is.
I'm gonna.
Aja, what's gotten into you?
I'm gonna whisper to Drusilla quietly. If Aja stabs this woman, I'm running away.
Okay.
I've had enough, and I'm gonna throw her into the wall.
Her shoulders slam into it, and she winces in pain.
Hey,
This is never your family. Never.
Hey, Aja, what are you doing?
Go. Both of you, go. Go now.
No.
I'm not leaving you with her.
No, it's fine. You should go.
No.
This isn't yours. It's not your fight.
No, but you're my family. That makes it my fight.
Yeah.
And Aja's gonna slam her again and just shout, "Go!"
She, as you slam her back again, and it becomes apparent that you are not letting up.
Oh fuck.
Gonna need you to make me a saving throw real quick.
Fair.
Let me just check which one.
What is happening?
Make me a strength check, please.
Oh man.
20, not natural.
Okay, let's see how she does. All right. You're holding on to her, and all of a sudden you just feel your fingers just forced apart as her eyes begin to glow white. And she holds up a hand, and Aja just lifts off the ground into the air into the middle of the street as she applies telekinesis to you. She just says, I understand you're under distress. But this is serious, and we need everyone's help. And she turns to the other two of you and says, there's an enclave nearby that we have not heard back from. I was sent to tell you to check in. I also noticed that one of you is missing.
Yes, Veggie. He's probably the one who leaked the secrets.
Aja is just going to roar.
She looks up at you and says, you would be better served trying to see if you can find your friend. If you truly care about him, if you don't care about me, I hope you at least care about him. You would be better served trying to find your friend rather than attacking me.
Put her down, please.
She looks up at Aja and says, are you going to attack me again?
I will if you don't put her down.
All of us need to calm down, please.
She's going to point her finger down, and Aja, you lower down, you feel your feet land on the ground again. And the feeling of being like held from every angle and direction lessens, and you feel her let loose of you, but you can still see she's maintaining the effect and ready to just grab on again.
Aja will just pant, just slowly, just.
All right.
Get out of here. Go. We'll handle it. Just go.
She reaches into her robes, and a scroll, not a spell scroll, just a regular scroll, floats out and then over to Drusilla.
Okay.
As it gets over to you, it unrolls in midair, and you can see that it appears to be a map, starting from here and then indicating direction to the northeast of you. And she says, "This is the location of the enclave. Go and check to see if see if it's been attacked, see if they're safe, and if it has been attacked, see if there's any survivors."
Okay. Is this map mine to keep, or?
Yes, you can keep it.
Okay.
And she turns to Aja and says, "When you calm down, I hope you determine where your priorities truly lie." And then she takes a step back, and her face, she takes a deep breath, centers herself, and then there's that multicolored light that surrounds her, this time in an upward direction, and when it's gone, she's vanished.
Aja, what the hell was that?
I liked it. I think...
Hannibal, shut up.
Okay.
What the hell was that, Aja?
Had enough. I've had enough of this. Had enough. I can't do this like this anymore, Drew.
You think attacking her unprovoked would make it better?
Sorry, just lost it for a minute. I'm sorry.
If you had attacked her, that would make you no better than Mr. G, the one we said we would stop.
You're right.
So keep a lid on it.
You're right. I'm sorry. And she's gonna wheel towards Reggie. Storm over. Not Reggie, Hannibal.
Okay.
Storm over. And you.
Yes?
You. How dare you say that about him? How dare you? You don't know what's happened to him. He could be fucking dead. And you mouth off about him giving away secrets and dead. It's just... I can't do this with you. And Aja's going to raise a hand for a moment and then let it fall. Just turn around back to Drusilla. And she's going to kneel and pull her pack off her back. Reach in, pull out a parchment scroll and hand it to Drusilla. And she's going to pull Drew into a hug. And just hold her tight for a minute. And just say very quietly to her, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not enough. I can't do it like this anymore.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
You're amazing, Drew. I love you. Take care of him.
That's right.
And she's gonna let her go and walk away.
Before you go...
Hannibal, let her go.
No, before you go... And I'm going to walk over and place something in her hand. Just so you can speak to Drew while you're gone.
Oh, do you give her the other sending stone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop it and walk.
Okay.
All right, so you put it into Aja's hand, and then she just turns her hand, and it skitters across the ground, and she turns and walks away down the street.
I just look down and stare at it.
All right. And Aja walks off and keeps walking. All right. Drusilla and Hannibal. The two of you are left standing there in the street. It's the middle of the night. It's dark. You can hear people starting to stir and move from their homes nearby. The sounds of combat and the bright lights and everything started to draw some attention. People are starting to wake up and wonder what's going on in this area. And there's a fair number of corpses on the ground.
Yep.
That have been left behind.
I pick up the sending stone again.
Mm-hmm.
I turn to Drusilla. I was like, we should probably go. Bodies in the street. There might be questions. I can't fit all of these bodies in my bag. We should leave the city now.
Okay.
And with my racial feat as a Triton,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to use this to help us get out of here. And I'm going to cast fog cloud around us.
Okay. So fog just fills the area, extending around corners and down streets, obscuring vision, and the two of you can hurry off through the dense fog. Where are you headed?
To the gates. That's where Hannibal's planning on going to get out of here.
You gonna go for the closest ones, or the ones that you came in through at the begin with?
It's the closest ones.
Okay, that'll be heading south. So you managed to find your way there. Won't make you roll for it. The main streets are fairly easy to find. You're in Midtown at this point, so just going due south.
Yeah.
The walls of Old Town meet with the walls of the city, and you can come to the southern gate. You can exit out there, and you find yourself out in the open nighttime outside the city. Still very late at night, and you have not seen Aja.
What was that all about? Why did she leave?
I don't know.
So...
Can I have a moment alone, Hannibal? please?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a tree nearby or something?
You can get as you get a little bit farther away from the city, there's a bunch of farms and things that back right up against, like up to the wall of the city, and there's a lot of farmland here. But as you keep going, you can eventually find some little wooded areas nearby off the side of the road.
I'm gonna find a tree, sit underneath it, and read this parchment Audra gave me.
Okay. And what does the parchment say?
Are you asking me? Or
I believe you have it, right?
I believe I have it as well.
Okay.
Rose, would you like me to, or would you like to?
I'll do it.
Do you read it out loud so Hannibal can hear it?
Is he near me?
It's dark. It's middle of the night enough so that even if he's not too far away, he could hear it.
Because she won't say it out loud. Before she puts it, she's gonna stick her quarterstaff in front of her.
Okay.
And just be like, all right, Caleb, let's see what it says. Let's see what it says.
As you pull it out, you see it's been sealed with a blob of blue wax, and scratched into it is a small, very crude kitten.
Okay, so the letter says.
And as you open it,
Okay, let's open it. All right.
there's a small flower pressed inside that's blue and gold.
My heart.
And now you can read it.
Dear Drusilla, I'm sorry I have to do this way. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you to your face. If I tried, I'd stop and I'd stay. And I can't do that. I need you to know some things, and I'm too much of a coward to tell you to your face. I'm sorry for that. I need you to know that I admire you. I need you to know that I like you, that I look up to you, that I look to you, and that I care for you. You are the best of us, the best of any of us. You're stronger, braver, kinder, wiser, and better. I wish I had the courage to tell you to your face as you deserve, but know it, Drew, you are the best of us. This whole business never sat right with me. I never asked for this, never wanted it. I don't want to fight a war for the gift. I don't want revenge against them. I don't care, I never did. All I wanted was to have a home, family, people to care for and about. That's where this all went wrong for me. We came here together and we left someone behind. Hannibal is ready to go after the mind flayers to bring the fight to the gift tomorrow, and I don't care. We left someone behind and it doesn't sit right. We're here living in this city in inns doing work, and we left someone behind. And after the nonsense with Hannibal, I can't take it anymore. We left Reggie behind, Drew. I need to find him. I need to try. Trying is important. He's out there, maybe fine, maybe dead, I don't know, but I need to try. Try intentionally and deliberately and with purpose. Trying is important, Drew. I have to try. I promised myself what seems a lifetime ago that I would try, in all things, try as hard as I could, that if someone said they needed something, I would try my best to see it done. I haven't tried for Reggie. That failure is mine and I need to rectify that. I hope you can understand this, Drusilla. I would ask you to come with me. Would love it if you would, but Hannibal, well, he wouldn't understand, and you'd have to manage us pulling you in opposite directions. I won't put you through that. You carry enough, sister, friend. Take care of him. I don't know if he'll really care if I'm gone. I doubt it, but he does need looking after. And maybe he can learn from you as I have. I will miss you, Drusilla, and I hope I can come back to you when this is done. I feel that we have unfinished business, you and I. This is a path I need to walk. You will be fine, I know it. You are the best of us. You taught me about being strong, about staying the course. You taught me about perseverance. You gave me a home. I owe you. Keep your head up. Victory will be there for both of us. I believe in you. With much love, Aja.
All right.
That's the letter.
Hannibal, given Drusilla her space, but as you're standing just outside the trees, you can hear her reading this, and if you step a little bit closer, you're just inside earshot, and you can hear the full contents of the letter as Drusilla reads it.
Okay. I'm gonna silently approach, not really saying anything. Oh man. And Hannibal's gonna try to hug Drusilla.
So what if
It's awkward. You can tell Hannibal has not given nor received many hugs in his lifetime,
Not once.
being raised among the very dispassionate and cold Gith, but he does his best. Gives the short Drusilla a hug, bending over. As he does, Moloch pops up out of his pocket and starts licking Drusilla's face. Doesn't exactly understand what's going on, but he's doing his best.
she'll give him back a hug and just cry into his jacket?
Two of you just stand there for a while. Eventually, you're not quite sure how much time has passed. Naturally, pull apart.
I'm gonna take out my sickle.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, just in case she tries to find us again. And I'm just gonna write, "We went this way," and I'm gonna carve it into the tree with my sickle.
Okay.
Not deep enough where it would like hurt the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this, like surface, like we went this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
Now what? She's gone.
Yeah.
Do our job and go find this other enclave?
I think so, and I think that should be the last thing we do for them, for the Gis.
Okay.
And then we do what is right. We free the people from this nonsense. Make sure no one else is taken from their homes like we were.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's what we want.
I think we have a long walk ahead of us, so.
Let's get going then.
Yeah.
Have a Kleenex. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just in case she does look for us, I'm gonna carve an arrow pointing down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna dig up a little dirt and then put the sending stone in there.
Okay.
And then cover it back up.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, bury the sending stone.
All right. Not quite sure how long you guys have been in this group of trees, but when you finally emerge, it's not quite light yet, but you can see the night slowly the sky slowly beginning to pale a little bit as you get into the 4-ish o'clock in the morning time period.
Okay.
And you can see the road, and you're not quite sure where you need to go, but you do have that map that you were given.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take Moloch out of my coat at this point.
Okay.
And set him down on the ground with his leash.
Okay.
Are you okay, little man?
He seems to not quite be knowing what's going on, but you can see him kind of pacing around and looking like he's trying to find someone or something.
It's okay, Moloch.
He's like sniffing at the ground.
I give him a finger to distract him.
Takes it, and the two of them are gnawing it. back and forth. Does Drusilla follow Hannibal out after a moment?
Yeah.
All right, you guys come out. You're on the road.
I guess onwards we go.
Yeah. Start to travel along the road. At some point, you need to take out the map and check it. You can see that it's a roughly drawn map of the region. And it looks like it's going to be quite a bit of a walk to get into the mountains where the Enclave is. There's a kind of like a red, not jagged, but winding line that seems to be the path that you're going to take, the roads and everything. And it doesn't seem like it seems like it's going to take a bit of doing to read the map and exactly follow it. But as you're walking, there's this strange sensation as you're walking and following the map as you take a few steps and then the landscape seems to blur past you and the mountains and forests and farms and mountains seem to suddenly be much closer than they were as if you moved like a mile down the road with a few steps as you hold this map in front of you.
What
That was
happened?
odd.
Sorry, what? But
That was odd.
That was weird.
do you keep going?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. As you continue walking again, every few steps, it seems like the landscape just blurs past you, and you're making miles in steps.
1 second. I'm gonna see if I can figure out what this is.
Okay. You want to make an Arcana check?
Yes, please.
All right.
Dirty 20.
Okay. It appears that there is some sort of very kind of quick and dirty transportation magic applied to this map. And while it's not terribly helpful as a map necessarily, it's a very roughly drawn one. It seems that it will allow for increased speed of travel along the path that is outlined on it. So as long as you are basically following the path on the map, you will make that trip both ways in much, much less time. Like this many miles long trip will probably take less than an hour using this method.
I'll just repeat all that. Quick and dirty transportation spell. Yeah.
Maybe Irina wasn't as bad as Aja thought she was.
Maybe we're not as bad as everybody thinks we are.
We're not.
Maybe. Oh, I mean, maybe nobody is as bad as we think they are.
No. That's not for us to decide. Let's just
True.
keep going.
Keep going.
You guys keep going, you keep walking, and as you fall into once you know what it is and you get used to it, you kind of fall into this rhythm. You notice it's like every 3 steps, it's like step, 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 step. And after not terribly long, pretty much as the sun is rising, you find yourself up in the mountains and approaching what appears to be a small sheltered valley where the Enclave is. And as you approach, I don't know if you want to, you're injured and tired. I don't know if you want to rest and take a long rest first, or if you want to just make your way in.
Yeah, maybe we should just have a quick lie down. I'm not feeling too great. I have 1 hit point.
Okay.
Go to bed, Hannibal. I'll keep watch.
Okay, thank you. And I lay the bag of holding down like a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pull Moloch close and I pass out instantly.
All right. So as you manage to find as you're up in the mountains, you manage to find a dense grouping of pine trees. You pull down a few Drusilla knows how to pull down a few pine boughs and lay them down into a makeshift bed and lay out your cloaks and coats and blankets on them so they're not prickly. Mm-hmm. And you manage to find pretty comfortable, make a pretty comfortable bed. Drusilla, as you're sitting up and keeping watch and looking around and considering the direction the map is taking you, faintly over the next rise, beyond the next peak, you know you're very close. Not quite within the ability to see it yet, not within line of sight, but basically just over the next rise, you can just see the faintest bit of just sort of a black, oily smoke, just the top of a column of it trailing up over the mountains, probably about where the Enclave is, indicating that you're probably going to need your rest whenever you find it. And as you sit and rest up, eventually Hannibal will awaken, and we can continue as you go to the Enclave, trying to find the survivors, which we will have to do next time because, well, we need to finish recruiting the survivors.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So that's where we'll end it for the week. Thank you, everybody. That was a lot of, that was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you for that. Thank you for
and thank you for Aja. Thank you for everything, all of the sessions we've had. I know from at least people I know that watch the stream that Aja is a favorite. That I know at least one or two people. Well, I only know really one or two people who watch, but the people that I know who watch are very sad to see Aja go.
It's been fun, and it's scheduling conflicts. It's nothing else. I love everybody here. The game is awesome. Dustin and Rose are awesome. Server's awesome. Stream is awesome. I am been very fortunate and very glad to be a part of it, even for a little while. And I hope that if things smooth out in the real life world, maybe I can walk back to it.
We're sad to see you go. We'll be very happy to see you come back. Don't be a stranger.
I'll cruise it. Don't worry. And again, thanks for the space to let this happen this way. I appreciate it.
Of course. So unfortunately, yes, Michael is leaving us. And that means that we are down to a 2-person party, which is why the scheduling has been why we've been on a break for a bit, and why we're going to be on a break for a little bit longer. We have, you might have noticed that we have had applications and things posted for new party members for the game, and this is why. So we are working on that, getting some new people to join in, and you can probably guess where they're going to be coming from. They will be the survivors of the Enclave attack, who will be joining Hannibal and Drusilla as they return. We'll see how that affects things, changes the dynamic. The one thing is for certain, Aja will not be forgotten. She will be missed. And just in case you in the audience are worried that you'll never see Aja again, we're going to work hard and try and find a time for Aja to at least come back and visit us for a guest spot a couple of times. And the two of us will communicate about what Aja is doing, and just at the very least, at least via text, keep up and see what Aja's adventures after this point look like, so that she can.
She would like that.
So that way we can see so at least we know what Aja's up to for when she returns, and if echoes of her actions happen to find their way back to the party or vice versa.
She would like that, Sam.
All right. Thank you very much to our audience for watching. Hello and welcome to the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Whoa.
I said, I said to somebody very early on in the Discord, someone was like, people in my campaigns end up crying usually. Usually it's me doing it though. So well done, Michael, getting a jump on that and, getting ahead to that before I did. So well done. You beat me to it.
It was meant.
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right.
I have no words.
That is why we're going to end that there. We're going to take a break. It's going to be a few weeks at least before we can come back to this. We're in the process of, I think, finishing up interviews. We'll need to get art for everybody and adjust the overlay. And we're going to be doing an unstreamed one shot just to keep everyone in the loop of what's happening. We're going to be doing an unstreamed one shot with the new people, just to double check, make sure everybody's compatible and also has had a chance to play together. Justin and Rose have a chance to play with them before we stream. And then the new people will also have an unstreamed one-shot of just kind of the beginnings of their characters and whatever is causing that black rising smoke over the Enclave, so that when we come back and stream, they will sort of have their own story that Hannibal and Drusilla will be meeting up with and interacting with. And then we will go from there.
Cool.
So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciated seeing your distress and pain in the chat. It sustains me.
Same, but not when I'm a player.
Yeah, see? Isn't it fun?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll be back as soon as we can with, I think, 2 new people of a full 4-person party. And yeah, thank you again for joining us. Very much enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to continuing.
Me too.
And we're going to pull ourselves together and actually be interviewing one of our applicants. Like, we're going to take some time to just wipe the tears away and calm down. Person, if you're watching, please excuse any crying that occurs while we're talking to you.
And thanks again, everybody. I just appreciate having
you.
All right. So with that, Justin, any last minute announcements, things you want to say before we go?
Can't think right now.
All right. That's a good sign. All right. Well, I think that at this point, it is that time when we wave into our webcams and say goodbye. And wave extra hard for saying goodbye to Aja and Michael.
Bye. Don't forget to be happy. Happiness.